Hey, I'm JR from Bowls. Today we're talking magic swords. The last of the cultists falls to the ground, the ritual disrupted and the town safe. The light of the moon illuminates a glittering pile of treasure. There, you find a sword. It gives you a +1 to hit and also damage. Yay, sure, it's an upgrade, but it doesn't really feel like an upgrade. Somewhere along the way, the idea of getting like a new weapon became such a mundane, expected part of D&D, especially old school D&D. These days, we don't even really notice. Let's change that. Here are 5 ways to make even a +1 sword a memorable moment in your campaign. Does the sword have a unique history or origin? Make a +1 sword a part of your world by giving it some kind of specific backstory. Maybe it was of elven make. Think about things like who made this, why did they make it, who used it before, and what's it made out of. That one is a personal favorite of mine. Just imagine having those details at hand whenever your player finds something cool. Anyone can imagine a generic sword that makes a metallic ring whenever you unsheath it, but what if it's a +1 sword forged out of the darkness from the Shadowfell, or of meteoric iron that fell from the heavens? Both of those look a lot different. Maybe it was a demon's bone forged in the days of old by an order of sacred paladins to take up arms against evil. Think about how your sword fits into the story. This ties back into the whole who made it and why question that I just asked you a few seconds ago. If the sword is part of an ancient human kingdom that once had power over the world, what does having that sword mean right now? Take a page out of something like She-Ra. Maybe the +1 sword unlocks sites of ancient power, or it opens doors that would otherwise be closed. It's still just a +1 sword, but now it's also a +1 plot device. There is a whole list of minor magical properties that give any sword or other magic item a little more than just a humble +1. Might shed bright light in a 10-foot radius, or always let you know which way is pointing north. Or when holding it, maybe you speak another language. There are a lot of abilities in D&D that seem cool, but don't actually break the mechanics of killing monsters. You don't want these abilities to be meaningless. After all, if you give a player a sword that lets them speak in Elven, they're gonna wanna talk to some elves, so plan for some elves. As long as we're being specific with the magic item, think about what kind of status it might carry with it. A +1 sword suddenly means a lot more when it's a symbol of honor granted by the king or the Council of Lords or the organizing committee of your anarcho-syndicalist commune. Your games are especially cool, and I like you. Just this +1 sword might give your character special rights or privileges. Maybe displaying the sword gets you 10% off at Crazy Al's House of Mutton, or you get free passage on boats or carriages. If you want to be really spicy, it lets you get into anywhere without an invitation. Noble parties, restricted libraries, whatever. Value is determined by what someone else is willing to pay for it, according to that one scene from Silicon Valley, which, as far as I can tell, is a documentary that explains how and why tech bros are gonna kill us all. With that in mind, the value part, not the tech bros killing us all part, one of the best ways you can make a magic sword or whatever else seem more exciting is to have someone else that wants it. Maybe it's like a bounty hunter or a famous warrior who's been questing for this very specific item that you've just found. Whatever the reason, whatever the person, cook up just a little bit of conflict and suddenly things are a lot more interesting. Hey, if you like that, check out our video on 5 rules that you're probably getting wrong by clicking here. Whoa, it's weird being like this. I'm JR from Bowls. Thanks for watching.